Hello, I'm Regas Sager.
And I'm Deshanel Sager.
And we're wrecked and certified. Hey, everyone. Thanks you for
Welcome back.
tuning in this afternoon. We are officially in fall.
Fall is here.
It is
Get
here.
your coats out. Get your hat and
exactly.
your gloves.
Get your pumpkin and everything else and your pies ready. And we're heading into the holiday season here. Next month? Yeah.
The thankful season.
Yeah, exactly.
Should be thankful all the time, but that's the season that we show that we're most thankful for.
Actually, absolutely. Actually, what was it? Last show we spoke about soulmates.
Soulmates. How's it going with the soulmate?
How's it going with your soulmate?
Defining-
Hopefully they're not a cellmate and they're a soulmate. Yeah, exactly.
Defining your soulmates. What does that really mean to you? Is it just something that's cliche and you're throwing it in the air and saying, oh, okay, yeah, they're my soulmate, but you have no meaning behind it? Did you figure out if they truly are your soulmate? And do you have some meaning behind that individual being your soulmate?
Right. What does it mean to you to be a soulmate? Because there's a lot of definitions now out there that are being thrown around, And I said on last show with all of the kind of the. I was kind of messing around with it or whatever, but I said, yeah, I've had 4 soulmates,
Yeah,
and so, all of the different definitions, mean so many things to different people. And for me, I think it was a maturity process. I had to just really grow up and really define what that word meant to me and putting the right emphasis on it. So, with that being said, that's
and I asked Regas the question: can you have more than one soulmate in life? And his answer was yes.
I believe
at the time.
At the time, because everything in life is about experience. So what you're experiencing at that time may feel right at that time. It works at that time, and then over time, it changes. It's just like our value systems change over time. As you know, what you thought at 12 and what you thought at 20 are going to be totally
different. Your views.
Because perspective, right? And so we're going to, we talked about that. And as we transition into some of the other topics that we want to get into, or one topic we want to really talk about today is about where are you today? In light of everything that's been going on in the marketplace, in your home, on the job, mentally, physically, where are you at today? There have been so much stuff circling around, babe, Captain, Sergeant of Arms here. There's just been so many things that have been happening in this world today, and I think there are a lot of people that are stuck. And the reason why I say that is because, one, we have not seen any vision boards. I have not gotten any messages. And that brings up a concern because I'm like, are you just kind of being like the jellyfish, just kind of floating with the waves, and wherever the waves take you, that's where you go?
Well, you were saying stuck, but I see it more like that life presents challenges. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't know how to get past those challenges in life. And we may need a little encouragement. And sometimes we don't know how to encourage ourselves, and we need others to encourage us. But sometimes, like I said, life presents those challenges, and how do we move past that? And I'm going to use, for an example, a lot of people out there have lost their jobs right now, and it's a tough time. And how do you get back on track from, I've lost my job, I have no income, it might have been your dream job, or it might have been, you don't know what to do after that. And how do you move past that? And sometimes when people lose their jobs, they go into a depression. They are stuck and say, they just dwell on that. Oh, I lost this job. I lost this job. I lost this job. But how do you move past that?
Yeah. And so we were discussing this last evening and obviously this morning about what do you do when you have fallen on hard times? And I think it's so important that you have the right supporting cast around you, the right nucleus, because if you don't, you can find yourself in a spiraling deeper depression, and then all of a sudden you're out of control, and then you like I said, you get stuck and you don't move. So your support system around you has a lot to do with how you rebound out of a bad situation. Because if you have people around you that are encouraging and they're hopeful and they see the glass half full opposed to half empty, then you can start to say, okay, you know what? I'm in this place right now. It's uncomfortable. It's not working for me. But you know what? I have a good system around me that is going to propel me or push me or give me good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because you need that.
Yeah. One of the things you said is surround yourself with people, make connections that those people are going to encourage you. I know you may be embarrassed to tell your friends or family members that I've lost my job or I've lost been in a bad relationship and that relationship has been south. Numerous examples, but you can't let that stop you from moving forward. And that's what we really want to talk about today is just that process of moving forward and what does that look like? And I know you mentioned just having people around you, that nucleus, whether it be friends, family, someone that you can confide in if you have to get counseling, a life coach to help set, and we talked about this, setting goals, and someone who can help you be accountable to help you get your life back on track and finding a new job or, or moving past those certain situations.
No, what you're saying there is 100% correct, because I think oftentimes we get into a situation where things are not going as what we planned for, what we anticipated, what we hoped for. I mean, obviously, at the beginning of this year, no one could have predicted all of the stuff that's gone on this year, from rioting in the streets to
the pandemic,
to job loss, to high unemployment, to rationing off of various things in the store. We don't have this anymore. You can't get your hands. There's just been a plethora of things, right? So, in the midst of all that, some of us, like I said earlier, have become stuck. So the first thing you need to do is surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with people that can give you an encouraging word. I just despise being around people where there's always a complaint. There's always an issue. There's always, oh my gosh, and this and that.
Woe
and
is me.
Woe is me, and this and that. And I've done it. It just, stop. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Especially if you're employed.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a roof over your head. Especially if
all your bills paid.
Yeah. You got a couple bucks in your pocket. Your kids are not strung out on drugs. You got cars and you got all this stuff, and you still have a complaint. Those people, I'm going to be honest with you, they get under my skin, because I'm like, we have so much to be thankful for. We have so much to say, you know what? I'm alive. I'm healthy. Look what's happening in our nation's capital. The president's gone in for the virus, and all these people in his cabinet have contracted this disease. And if you're healthy, and you're vibrant and everything you have something to be excited about, because life has not kicked you there yet.
I have this saying that I like to say, and I've posted before: when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Mm-hmm. Even when situations are bad, try to find some type of positive in it. Don't just stay stuck in what you're in. Find some positivity in it, even though you lost your job, even though you may have come down with COVID, or you've lost a loved one. And I know all of those situations are hard, and I'm not trying to downplay them at all, but try to find some positivity in it to try to lift you back up and try to dig yourself out of that hole or that rut that you're in, and look at life as, like you said, Regas, not half empty, but half full, and surround yourself with people. Don't get in that place where you want to seclude yourself and just be like, I don't want to be around anybody right now, or I don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah, you're going to go through that. You need that time period to try to process things, but try to do those things to find some good in those in those areas.
You said it perfectly. I look at all of these things that we've gone through. And I consider him a buddy. He may not consider me a buddy, but I was talking to a friend earlier in the week, and he came in and sat down and talked with me, and I'll say his name, Tim, and he was just listening to me because I was venting about this, that, and the other. And he put a really good perspective on things. And he was telling me, he was like, you know what, Regas, sometimes when we're in the fire and we're feeling, we're not feeling like, we're accomplishing our dreams and we're just kind of like stuck. Everything that we're going through right then and there is building our next chapter. It's opening up the doors. We can, like you said, babe, take all of this experience, all of this bad stuff that we've been dealing with all this year, and let that be the fuel or the catalyst or the springboard to get you to whatever that next iteration in life is, whether it's a new relationship or a new disposition on the way you look at life or whatever that is. But you use this experience right now that you're going through and everything is just kind of like the walls are caving in on you. Guess what you can do? You can take all of this bad stuff and use that as fuel. And when he told me that, my whole countenance changed. My whole demeanor, my whole outlook started to view things from a different perspective. So, because I was like, I was really beating myself up. I was like, man, I'm not there. I'm not building my legacy for my family, and I'm not this, and I want to be doing that, and la 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 la. And he was very calm about it. And he said, hey, Regas, sometimes God puts us in a position that we don't understand why, but he's building us. And we need to use all of these things that we've gone through to use that as the springboard to the next chapter in our lives. And I got so excited when he said that, and my countenance changed. I was smiling, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And I got all this energy. And then after that, I looked at my computer, and then the sale came through and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, maybe the stars are lining up for me today. And so, sometimes when you feel those feelings and you feel as though things are not going right for you, babe, you can say to yourself, one, I'm going to surround myself with the right people, the right nucleus, so they can speak positivity into my life. And I'm going to use all of this bad stuff, instead of fire, I'm going to use it as fuel.
Yeah. Yeah. You made me think of my story. And
you got a story? We didn't talk about no story. Hold on a second. No, I'm kidding.
No, my story is that at the beginning of this year, or the end of last year, and I mentioned a little bit of it earlier, that I was going to leave my job. And so I started to prepare for this, and, God had put it in my spirit that day. And my backstory is I had been in dentistry for 22 years. And
now look at this face. Does that look like 22 years of dentistry? I'm going to tell you right now, it don't look like 22 years.
And I could do dentistry in my sleep. I mean, you get to that place where you get comfortable in what you're doing. And I was like, oh God, I want to change the scenery. Man, I love dentistry. Matter of fact, I call the girls every now and again, what's going on? I need to talk dental to somebody. So, I have to call.
It won't be to me.
Because I have to call my old coworkers to talk dental. But anyway, so God put in my spirit that this year in April, you're going to be leaving your job. And so I told Regas, and I said, gosh, Regas, I don't know what that looks like. And he's looking at me like, babe, you better figure that out. You better start going to school or whatever you're going to do. And he was like, are you going to pick up your photography and start doing that full time? And I was like, Regas, I don't know. And so the Lord began to prepare me during that time. And, I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? And I was just so grateful. Long story short, I'm just so grateful how we got to April, and the very first day of April was my first day at home. COVID had hit, and, the dental office had shut down. And during that time, so I'm like, Lord, is that really you? COVID
happened because of me.
No, but it's funny how he lines, you were saying how he lines things up and how he starts to prepare you for things and you don't know what he's has for you and what he's holding for you. And so during that time, I'm like, oh my gosh, we were getting ready to go back to work in May. And so I'm like, I'm going to tell them that I'm not going back. And I kept hemming and hawing. Should I go back? Should I not go back? Should I go back? I still don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of know. And so I started looking at doing, kind of the t-shirt business thing, the apparel thing. And I was like, just learning. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just put in my 2 weeks notice. And it was so crazy because my boss said, I already knew. And so it was like God had prepared me and he had prepared him already. And I started going into this apparel thing, not knowing anything about it. So I'm so out of my comfort zone that it's like I'm learning all these new things, a whole new different trade. And it was just, it's an uncomfortable situation. I'm be honest, it's uncomfortable for me. So sometimes as you're moving forward, it can be uncomfortable. But God, sometimes you get in a comfortable situation and he wants to take you out of that comfortable situation and make you uncomfortable to bless you and to teach you to do new things and new adventures in life. And so you're like, oh my gosh, that job, I lost it. And, you were so comfortable in it. And it's just like, wow. It's like, and just to see how he's blessing me in this whole new endeavor and just meeting new people and new relationships. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, and what you were saying there, something that you stated is being comfortable and then being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening is anytime you're in a situation where I say it's stuck, you become comfortable. Whether it is, some of you out there that may be listening to me, whether it's on your job or you're in a relationship. And matter of fact, this morning we were standing in the bathroom and we were talking and I said, you know what, honey, think about this. Anytime you get comfortable, too cavalier, too comfortable with the situation, whether it be a relationship or your job or whatever, you can almost say you're stuck. Because there's nothing that's pushing you to that next
There's no growth.
thing. Exactly. There's no growth. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, you know what? Lord, where's my growth going to come from? And like I said, friend Tim was telling me all this stuff. He said sometimes what ends up happening, God wants you to step out on faith and he wants you to move in different iterations of your life, but we get comfortable whatever with our spouse, or we get comfortable with a paycheck, or we get comfortable with whatever it is in life, and then all of a sudden we look back and we go, oh gosh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, and it's like, well, that window, that opportunity is past. And so I keep challenging myself, we keep challenging ourselves as a couple. How can we improve not only our relationships, but how can we improve other relationships that are in our circle? And how do we make them, even better? And what can we bring to the table to make those relationships better? And so if you're in a rut, get around positive people. Get around people that are going to speak things positive into your life. Not all about because if you have people in your life that it's always about them and it's always about, oh, I'm gonna do this for you and and it's all I'm gonna do. No. You want to deal with people that can understand your circumstances, that can empathize with you, of course, but also can push you and that could help you build your next chapter of your life. And I think that's what life is. Life is about a bunch of experiences and about making decisions, today, tomorrow, and the next day so we can get to whatever God has for us or whatever you have deemed for yourself as goals or opportunities and make those work. Because I see so many people that are playing the blame game. Well, you know what? I would be so much further down the road if it wasn't for him or her or this situation or that situation. If I hadn't have done this or if I should have done that, stop making excuses for yourself. And I'm just going to say this, stop making excuses for yourself. And if you really want something out of life, sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and go for it and go, you know what? If I fail, I fail. But you know what? I'd rather fail trying than not try and fail. So you've got to just put that into your spirit. Get out of stuck mode. Get out of couch mode. Get out of all of these different modes and get yourself moving towards that goal.
And get out of looking at other people, because what God has for you
is for you.
It's for you. Just because someone else is doing it, don't look at what they have or what they do. You don't know what they went through to get to that spot that they are in life. You don't know what tests and trials they went through just to achieve what they have achieved. You know, I met up with a friend a couple weeks ago and we had dinner and she said, Day, you right now are so inspiring to me. And I'm like, God, I don't feel like I'm being inspiring to anybody. But she looked at my whole situation and what I'm doing as inspiring. If you may not know who's watching you, who's looking at you to see what you're going to do. You may inspire someone else to be motivated and drive. You want to be that and like we said, surround your people with those people that are going to inspire you to get you motivated to move to the next level. Like Regas said, get up off of the couch, get up off of Facebook looking at what everybody else is doing. And if you have a dream or a goal, start moving in it. You know, don't say, oh, I should do this or I should do that. Start moving in it and don't move in it. And move forward and don't look back. You may fail, but don't give up. Revamp that thing and keep moving forward.
Man, that was passionate. I'm telling you, honey, I didn't know whether to smile, drop a tear, whatever. That was very passionate. And we're passionate about the subject because we want to see people succeed.
Yes.
We really do. And, you know, I tell people, I said, look, I'm just a small fry. I'm not even a tadpole. I mean, when you look at everything, et cetera, I'm just a dude trying to make the best possible decisions for me and my family, my wife and I, and everybody that I touch. You know, if I can bring a smile to somebody's face today, I've done my job. I've impacted somebody, etc. So many times we get so caught up in, I'm in sales, and so many times we get so caught up in sales. Oh, we got to make the sale. We got to make more money. We got to do this. We got to do this more. Stop. What are you doing with the people that are in your lives? My wife. If I go out and make all these sales and and bring all this gobs and gobs of money in, but I never spend time with her, and I never spend time with my children, and I never spend time with my grandchildren, and I never make impact in those people's lives, money doesn't mean a whole lot of it doesn't mean a hill of beans. Impact does. If I could touch one person out there that is listening to us today to say, you know what, you've inspired me to get out there and do what I need to do to be a better husband, to be a better wife, to be a better friend, to be a better coworker or worker. That's what it's all about. And, you know, like I said, we all need money to make it through here. But am I willing to sacrifice my relationship because of a couple of red nickels, I call them?
Yeah.
I'm not willing to do that. I love my wife. I want her to go, he did well by me, and he made, X amount of dollars. But
he
you know what?
He started off real good. He's doing real good.
But I want to be able to go back and go, what about my children? It wasn't always, oh gosh, dad's at work. Oh, he's always dealing with this and he's always dealing with that. They're going to remember the times you spent with them, not going down to Disneyland. I took my kids to the thing came to mind. I'm kind of cracking up inside. Wally World. Back. That film Wally World with what's his name? I think it was it Aykroyd? I can't remember. But anyway, but I was thinking about when I took him down to Disney World. And we went down there all these years. We went down like every other year for a stretch. And you know, when I get together with my kids and I sit down and when we're just reminiscing and talking, whatever, you know what they say? They don't go, "Oh my man, Dad, I remember you took us to Disney World and we had a great time and la 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 la, and we spent all this money, and all blah 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 blah." Or you spent all that money, Dad. They don't remember those things. You know what they remember?
That.
They're like, "Yeah, Dad, I remember we stayed up late one night and we were all watching TV and then we started playing games and then we went down to the park and we did this." And that's what they remember. And you know what? After I'm dead and gone, I want my wife to remember, at the times we spent together and the things that we accomplished, the dreams that we had, the goals that we accomplished. They're not going to remember, "Man, you remember that big deposit you made into the bank account and we bought that big giant car and house?" Look, houses burn down, cars break down.
Yeah, they do.
Materialistic things are fleeting. Money is fleeting. But you know what? Relationships,
Yes.
to me, are more important than those things. And that's why I said surround yourself with people that are going to speak into your vision, speak into the next iteration. That's who you need to be around.
And one of the things that Regas and I, our motto is that we like to say is, if we're blessed, why not bless others around us? My friend and I started up this, what's called the Melanated Market, and we had it last weekend. And we were talking about it, and we were just saying, man, it's just so awesome to be able to feature other businesses out there. It's not just about us, but it's helping to get other people and their small businesses out on the platform, making sure and helping them to be successful and putting their name out in the community. It wasn't about us, but it was about them and being able to help them and their dreams come true and their visions come true. And we just had the best time doing it because, like I said, if you're blessed, why not bless somebody else?
Exactly. And I can tell you that the weather last week was
stormy,
horrific on Saturday. We had more tents and canopies in the air than it seems like on the ground. Everyone was wet from hair to toe. But you know what? We made the best of it. And sometimes that's what ends up happening in life. The wind comes, the rain comes, the flood comes, and storms come or whatever. And you got to weather those storms. But we made the best time. We had a great time
the
out
people,
there.
it wasn't what we envisioned, like that we may have not had the support or all the vendors that we planned for, but hey, the little people that we did, we made the best of it and had a blast.
And they did okay. And so, we're looking for the next one or what have you. But you know what? That's what it's all about. It's about helping people. And one of the things that I'm proud of from the right perspective, and I'm humbled as well. I'm proud to be helping businesses with their digital marketing, and I say that with a grain of salt because it is a humbling experience because I can see some of the different iterations and all of the trials and tribulations that they've gone through to keep their doors open, especially during this time of coronavirus and this pandemic and everything else. It's been a daunting task for some of these businesses just to keep themselves operational. And so if I can do anything, whether it's through the workplace, through this show, to help somebody get over and to, get to that next rung on the ladder, to me, it's worth it. And that's where I get my sense of motivation. A lot of people go, "Oh man, Regas is motivated by money." No, I'm motivated by helping people.
Yeah.
And that's always been my sense and the center of who I am as a person.
And I do have to say this about Regas. He is one of the most thoughtful, most giving, most caring people. He gives of his time. He gives of himself where, where people call and are like, "Regas, I need your help with this." And he'll say, "I got to go help such and such." And I know that, one of the things that he does, he helps take care of an elderly gentleman in our church. And he's always checking on him to see if he's all right. make sure that he has everything that he needs. And he's always going over there to check on him. So I have to say that about Regas. And I commend you for that, because I think that's so thoughtful of you to do. And I commend you for that.
Oh, babe, you know me. I'm not looking for accolades.
And he doesn't look for those accolades. But, sometimes you just have to throw that out about people, because, our reward is not here on earth, but it is in heaven. So
that's the way we believe. But,
yes.
I look at all of that and I see, like I said, so many people that are, dealing with things. But I'm just hoping that somebody out there, this conversation that we had with you this morning resonates with you, and it that shot in the arm, etc. Speaking of which, I've got a flu shot first time in probably 20 years or whatever, and boy, I tell you, I'm petrified. I'm terrified of needles. I'm not a big needle guy, but anyway,
he did it for me.
Yeah, I did it for the wife, because I think I sneezed and I coughed. She's like, "Ooh, gosh, the COVID or whatever." I don't. But anyway, but we just wanted to have this conversation, and I know today was a very passionate conversation from both of us, because we're truly in it to help people succeed in life. And like I said, we don't have much. We're not rich.
We're simple folks.
We're simple folks or whatever. Of course, we like nice things or whatever, but we're humbled, and we're grateful.
Thankful.
And thankful that we have good people in our lives, like BD Local, iLocal. I work for another company called Zip Local. I mean, all the locals. We're not crazy. We're just all in this together, and we have a good time.
Yes.
Any parting words before we close up, babe?
No, we just want to say, just remember, if you get in that rut, just come out and find some friends that are and family that are going to be positive, and they're going to speak life into you. Even if you have to find books, or like I said, step out and get a life coach or a counselor to help you get out of that rut, and to encourage you to get back on the right track in life.
Absolutely. So with that being said, before we do our little closeout here, don't forget we're in the election season. Don't forget to cast your vote.
Yes, please.
Make sure
get out and vote.
You get your voice heard by casting your ballot. Check out some other podcasts that BD Local has, a virtual open door, some other great shows that are basically teeing up candidates that are in the election process or they're on the ballot. So make sure you do your due diligence and check these people out and cast your vote. So with that being said, we are
Wrecked and certified. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.